Hola, ¿qué tal? Estamos en la 69 edición de la Seminci, la Semana Internacional de Cine de Valladolid, en Kinótico, en las tripas del Calderón, en esta cuarta planta donde está pasando lo mejor del talento nacional e internacional. Ahora vamos con esa parte internacional que le da todo el lustre al Festival de Valladolid. Tenemos con nosotros a Kamal Aljafari, que presenta A Fidai Film, un documental reconstruido en base a el hallazgo de documentos pertenecientes a Palestina y que estaban guardados en Beirut hasta 1965, un documental impresionante, intervenido además. El documental participa en la sección Tiempo de Historia. Y Kamal, ¿qué tal? How are you doing today, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. The sun is shining. It's good.
So, yesterday it was the premiere here in Valladolid. You saw the movie with the people in the Sala Fundos projection state. So I wanted to ask you about that. How was do you like to see the people the film with people? You step outside. How do you relate with that?
I'm very happy actually to be here and to have the Spanish premiere of the film. Um, I mean, you at the beginning when I started showing the film, I would also stay because I wanted to make sure that everything is fine with the film. And these days I don't stay for watching, but I was very touched and happy that so many people came, and they came really with their hearts, and we had afterwards a very enriching discussion.
So, the film, can you explain a little bit what we see in the film? Because it's very little bit, it's not explained as in a voiceover or something like that. So, can you explain what are we actually seeing in those images?
Well, the beginning of the process of making this film, it was a film about the event, the looting that happened in Beirut in 1982 when the Israeli army invaded Lebanon, and they raided the Palestine Research Center, and they took away all of its archives.
Can you get a little closer to the mic? Sorry.
And by doing that, they basically, took away and stole books, films, photographs, really an entire work of archives that this institute was doing. So my work really has been really around revealing some of these films that were looted. But through this research that I did, I ended up using other materials in order to complete a narrative, which is in fact the story of dispossession of the Palestinians. So we have material really as early as the 20s, and the film takes you into a journey where you can see the patterns of violence that has been committed against the Palestinians throughout history, actually throughout the last 100 years.
Yeah. Do you think that, speaking about narrative, yesterday you said that the movie was ended before the new wave of this ongoing conflict, but I wanted to ask you about narrative. Do you think that there is a way? Is it possible to fight the narrative war, the information war against Israel? I think the mere fact that we are talking about October 7th instead of the whole history there, it's kind of a loss in that narrative war. Do you think that it is possible to fight that?
Well, I think that in general, mass media really always clings into one event, and then it becomes everything in itself. But as you see in the film, I mean, there has been really so many years of suffering, of violence that is committed against the country, against the Palestinians, and some people think that I made the film as a reaction to what happened as of October, but the film was really done in June already. I think that cinema can play an important role in giving space for narratives that actually totally absent in the mass media, and this is where, in fact, the role of the filmmaker becomes meaningful, not in explaining a conflict or a situation, but rather to show things as they are, to work with images, to work with sound, and to create a kind of, what I do in this film. It's a film which is treating the subject in a poetic way, not giving too many indications, for example, where we are and who's doing which crime. It's really about showing things as they are and trying to, through that, to create empathy. Because this film finally is not only about Palestine, it's about all occupied people.
About colonialism in a way. So I wanted to ask you about that poetic concept that you introduced, the intervention concept in this film. How did you decide how and what to do? Because we see those reds, they kind of censor faces, censor documents. How did you come up with that?
Well, my idea with working with the red and, for example, scratching over text that I found, which was written by the army after they looted the material. They did a kind of catalog for these materials, and they would, write indications about what you are about to watch, giving some intelligence evaluation of the material, which I found in itself really quite violent. And my first reaction when I saw that was really I should remove it, I should scratch over it. And from that on, this idea of intervening in the image by adding the red color becomes really a tool to make this footage, historical footage, contemporary, make them as if they talk about the situation today. For example, some of the shots that we see, the material is so damaged that we had a lot of lines over the image, so I decided to add the red color to these lines. And finally, step by step, it becomes a film about this country that is actually bleeding, these images that are bleeding. So my work with found footage has been really always about bringing new life to these images, and these effects and interventions, they are the new life that make this footage not just a historical footage, but it's a footage about today.
You just spoke about that bleeding of the Palestinian people. I wanted to ask you about the bleeding of the Palestinian cinema. Is there a way for the Palestinian cinema to survive beyond documenting the genocide? Because yesterday we had here a Ukrainian filmmaker, and I asked her the same thing. Is it possible to go beyond that, to have a Palestinian cinema that is alive beyond the atrocities of Israel?
I mean, it's a very difficult situation because you find yourself trapped in this tragedy that you want to express yourself and to share what it means. But I think cinema in general, it requires time, and I don't think we should do the same what the news is doing. Alternative media, like the social media. I think cinema needs really more time in exploring a depth that is not seen in the day-to-day images. So it's a very difficult question. It's really related whether we can exist, not only just as filmmakers, but as human beings, as Palestinians, going through this ongoing mass killing. And I think this is something that I try to do in my work, that the fact that we can make films, the fact that we are trying to dream, is a tool to defeat this genocide.
The last one I wanted to ask you, the film was Visions du Réel this year, and also here in Seminci, in Valladolid. What does a festival for a film like yours, besides the public eye and the opportunity to speak, I imagine? Like, what is the use for a film like yours?
I think I have been traveling quite a lot now with the film since its premiere in April, and one thing that I have noticed that I didn't sense before is really the kind of empathy that exists now among people for the Palestinian cause. That is quite new for me. in this scale, and especially that people were more open to the form of the film. So they were not looking for information and explanation, because what happened the last year, in a way, make them, educate themselves about the cause. So I think really cinema can play a role in really giving a platform, which is not to be found in the mass media, that doesn't give you really the opportunity to show and to take the time to show a film. And usually, it's like something very quick that they do. And in this case, cinema really offers an opportunity to communicate, which is really a very important.
Well, sir, thank you for your time, thank you for that extraordinary film. A los demás, muchísimas gracias por la cobertura aquí en Kinótico. Seguimos, como siempre, con todo lo que está dando de sí esta Semana Internacional del Cine de Valladolid, la 69 edición. Como siempre, kinótico.es, la primera con K, la segunda con C.